Listen closely, my child. Right now, in this very moment, everything is shifting in the unseen. You've been praying, waiting, and wondering if I've heard you. And today, I want you to know, I have. The breakthrough you've been waiting for, it's already in motion. But here's what you must understand. There is a divine alignment happening right now. And if you miss this word, you may miss the very instruction that unlocks what I've prepared for you. This is not just a message, it's a divine alert. Heaven is moving, the enemy is trembling, and I'm positioning you for something sudden, supernatural, and unstoppable. Stay with me. Every second of this message matters, because by the end of it, you'll see that what I've spoken over your life is already done. But you must hear me fully. Do not scroll. Do not miss this. Your moment of divine clarity starts right now. You've battled sleepless nights, confusing silence, and endless trials, but none of it was in vain. Every tear watered the ground of this day. Every time you stayed when it was easier to quit, you were aligning yourself with my timing. And now that timing has come. I didn't forget you. I didn't ignore your pain. I was waiting for the exact second when what I am giving you would not just bless you, but transform everything connected to you, child. This is that second. There is an urgency in the spirit because what I'm about to hand to you will shift generations. This release isn't light. It's heavy with purpose, wrapped in my power, soaked in the oil of your obedience. The heavens are not silent anymore. They are speaking your name in the corridors of destiny. You don't see it all yet, but I need you to trust me right now. What's being released today is going to confirm every promise you almost stopped believing in. You're not forgotten. You're being chosen again. This is the fulfillment hour, and it carries your irreversible favor. Let go of the fear that gripped you yesterday. It has no permission to enter this blessing. The doors that mocked you before will now stand open. You're not standing still anymore. You're standing on the edge of divine release. My voice is loud over your life right now, and I'm telling you, don't miss this. What you're about to step into is greater than what you lost, stronger than what broke you, and more beautiful than what you imagined. The release is real. The timing is now. The best, yes, the very best, is being released today just for you. Don't misunderstand the waiting. There was never a denial, only a delay for your protection. What I planned to release into your life carried weight that required your soul to mature first. If I had given it to you too soon, it would have crushed the very foundation I was building inside you. I had to let you walk through seasons of refinement, of surrender, of learning how to let go so you'd know how to hold this blessing without dropping it. Your character needed time to be carved into strength. Your faith needed to grow from surface-level hope into unshakable trust. And your capacity had to stretch beyond convenience into full surrender. I saw you wondering why others were moving ahead, getting what they wanted, while you remained in waiting. But I never called you to compare your process to theirs. I called you to endure for the greater portion. I was never punishing you. I was preparing you for a release that demanded deep roots. And now those roots are ready. I have examined your intentions, observed your persistence, and listened to the quiet prayers you never said aloud. And what I see now is someone who can carry something sacred without turning it into pride. I needed to be sure that when I gave it, you wouldn't chase approval, you wouldn't water down your mission, you wouldn't abandon your intimacy with me to maintain what I gave. And now I know your heart is stable, your hands are clean, your motives are pure. This is not just about readiness in the natural. It's about being positioned spiritually to guard and grow what I'm sending. I needed to make sure that what was meant to be a gift wouldn't become a distraction. That's why I held it back. Not because you were unworthy, but because what I'm sending is too holy to be mishandled. but now I see a vessel prepared. I see humility where there was once fear. I see joy that no longer depends on outcomes. I see someone who won't trade truth for attention. You didn't rush the process. You allowed me to complete the work, and now the wait is over. The seal has been removed. I'm not just releasing a blessing, I'm unlocking access to an entirely new level of purpose. You were hidden for a season, so you could be strengthened in secret. But today, that hiding ends, and you're being ushered into a divine unveiling. This is the moment where everything changes, not because of your effort, but because of your endurance. You didn't collapse in the delay, you grew. You didn't complain through the silence, you listened. And now the heavens are responding. What's coming is not for applause or popularity. It's for the fulfillment of destiny. You will steward it wisely, honor it fully, and carry it with gratitude. You are now ready. And because of that, I am releasing what I've been waiting to give all along. The spiritual realm is not quiet right now. Your name is being carried like a banner across angelic ranks, and the authority of my throne has summoned divine attention to your case. The stillness that once surrounded your situation has now erupted into activity because I have authorized movement on your behalf. Your name, once buried beneath seasons of delay and misunderstanding, has now ascended like incense into the chambers of my command. My child, this isn't ordinary favor. This is royal clearance. The scrolls of your destiny, written long ago and preserved for an appointed hour, have now been unsealed. There has been a heavenly announcement made, one that cannot be reversed. Archangels have been dispatched with your instructions, and the forces of opposition that thought they had more time have just received their notice of defeat. I have called your identity into alignment, and everything that resisted you will now see your assignment moving forward without interruption. You are no longer in the background. You are no longer waiting to be remembered. I have spoken your name with power, with fire, with promise, and all of creation must respond. I saw your silent obedience. I watched you sow kindness while receiving rejection. I listened to the way you praised even while carrying questions. You did not demand attention. You gave me devotion. And now it is my turn to respond. This shift is not the result of human persuasion or natural circumstance. It is born in the courts of heaven, where I reign without opposition. Your case has been reviewed, and the verdict is released. Where the enemy tried to use your past to accuse you, I stepped in and covered every stain with mercy. Where people tried to reduce your worth to your mistakes, I restored your name with my righteousness. I do not see you through the lens of limitation. I see the one I handcrafted for a moment such as this. The activity around your life is not chaos, it is divine synchronization. Everything is being positioned with precise timing and intentional purpose. What felt dormant is now bursting into manifestation. Things that were stuck are now being untangled. The delay is over, not because time ran out, but because I stepped in and declared, now is the moment. And when I say now, there is no force that can say later. You are not simply receiving answers. You are stepping into recognition. What was overlooked will now be highlighted. What was misunderstood will now be clarified. And not because you demanded a spotlight, but because I chose to reveal the truth in my timing. This is not a rise built on ambition. It is a revealing based on appointment. The hosts of heaven are surrounding your journey with power, and as your name echoes through my courts, doors on earth are swinging open in response. Prepare for the unusual. Be alert to the divine shifts that are occurring, because I am not merely adjusting your life, I am aligning it with eternity. This is the hour of divine motion, and you are the reason the heavens are moving. I saw the moment your heart almost gave in to the pressure to accept what was beneath your calling. The enemy whispered lies clothed as compromise, trying to convince you that the wait was unnecessary, that your standards were too high, that your discernment was too difficult to please. But child, I did not place you on this path so you could shrink into someone else's expectations. You were not created to merely survive on fragments when I have a table prepared for you. I've been watching closely as situations tried to corner you into silence, into agreement with mediocrity, into an identity far beneath the one I shaped with my own hands. There were offers. Yes, opportunities appeared, but they weren't born of me. They were crafted to distract you, delay you, or destroy what I am raising inside you. You hesitated, and that hesitation wasn't weakness. It was me. I was pulling at your spirit, warning you not to say yes to something that would steal the joy of what I've planned. You see, sometimes the enemy doesn't bring failure. He brings early success that looks attractive, but carries no permanence. I had to intervene when I saw your heart growing weary, when your faith felt stretched thin, when hope began to look more like exhaustion than expectation. I didn't step back. I stepped closer, and now I am stepping in. I am standing between you and that lesser option, shielding you from what you almost accepted so I can give you what I designed before you were born. This blessing I'm bringing forth is not just better. It is tailor-made for the calling I've placed on your life. It won't drain your peace. It won't rob your time. It won't manipulate your boundaries. It will fit the divine blueprint I've written over your days. The settling season is ending. I'm calling you out of the mindset that says, this is good enough, and into the reality that says, this is God's best. What I am releasing carries no strings, no hidden traps, no false attachments. It won't require you to lose yourself to keep it. You won't have to fight to be seen or understood or chosen. It will recognize the anointing you carry without explanation. And more importantly, you will feel my peace settle into your chest like a river finally reaching its destination. The striving will stop. The confusion will break. The questions will be answered in the presence of what I'm sending. I'm not rescuing you from something terrible. I'm rescuing you from something almost good enough. You didn't come this far to fall into convenience. You didn't endure all that stretching to live beneath promise. That restlessness you felt lately, that holy discomfort. It was me stirring your soul so you wouldn't unpack in a place you were only supposed to pass through. My best is not a fantasy. It is on its way to you even now, and it will arrive with such clarity that you will thank me for every no, every redirection, every door that didn't open. Child, I do not give leftovers. I give first fruit. I don't offer illusions. I deliver truth. And today I am removing the veil and placing in your hands what you were born to receive. This is your moment to refuse the lesser. My hand is extended. Take what I've kept hidden until now. It's yours. There were moments you felt abandoned, when doors stayed shut and hands withdrew. But what felt like rejection was my divine preservation. You looked around and saw others being handed opportunities, embraced by circles, welcomed into places you prayed for, and it hurt. You questioned if something was wrong with you, if perhaps you missed a cue or lacked some qualification others possessed. But child, hear me clearly. I was the one who orchestrated those denials. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't their oversight. It was my intention. I stopped them, not because you were undeserving, but because I was keeping you from attaching to something temporary. If I had permitted those offers to proceed, they would have satisfied your short-term hopes while suffocating your long-term calling. What they were willing to give you would have limited the space I was trying to build in you. They couldn't see the full magnitude of who you are becoming, so they would have placed you in a frame far too small. I intervened before you could be boxed in. My silence in that season wasn't abandonment. It was protection at a scale you didn't yet comprehend. While they offered you what looked like a solution, I was preparing a fulfillment. While others handed out crumbs, I was baking a feast. While you were wondering why the hands you reached for didn't respond, I was setting aside something sacred that no one else could take credit for. You see, I refuse to let anyone else receive glory for what I alone authored for you. I refuse to let your testimony be reduced to someone else's pity, favor, or assistance. What's coming is going to be undeniable in its source. No one will be able to say they made you. No one will be able to claim they opened the way. Because when I step in, I make sure every eye sees that it was the hand of God, not the hands of man, that made it happen. That's why I kept them from blessing you prematurely. That's why I disrupted connections that weren't built to carry your destiny. Some people weren't being cruel. They were being redirected by me without knowing it. I turned their hearts away to keep you from being tied to outcomes that would have anchored you to the wrong seasons. And yes, I know that was painful. I saw the nights you stared at the ceiling, wondering why your kindness was met with distance, why your sincerity was answered with silence. But now you'll understand, it was all part of the reservation. I had something better placed in storage for you, and it required time to mature. I didn't just want you to have more. I wanted you to have what aligned with the very core of who I created you to be. That greater portion is almost within reach now, and it will be so tailor-made, so precise, so deeply aligned with your design that you'll look back and thank me for every blocked path, every unanswered call, every missed opportunity. What you once called disappointment will soon become proof that I had something incomparable in store. Your blessing wasn't denied, it was preserved. Others may have moved quickly, but I've called you to rise correctly. The elevation I'm releasing will not be based on applause or attention, but on assignment. What's about to come into your hands is so significant that it demanded patience, and now the time has arrived. You're not receiving leftovers. You're about to walk into a fulfillment that has been waiting just as long for you as you've been waiting for it. What you interpreted as distance was divine orchestration. While your prayers seemed unanswered and your cries went unnoticed, I was carefully arranging details you couldn't see, not out of delay, but precision. My silence was never absence. It was the stillness of a master at work. Just like a sculptor chisels away in focused quiet, I was removing everything that didn't belong in the picture I've been shaping for your future. Every closed door, every abrupt pause, every sudden shift. It wasn't random. It was calculated, intentional, strategic. You were never forgotten. In fact, you were at the center of an unfolding that demanded patience, not panic. I couldn't let you see it too soon because some parts required privacy to develop properly. If I had let you interfere, even with good intentions, it would have disrupted the alignment I was building behind the scenes. And so I hid the process in silence, not to punish you, but to protect the process. What was forming needed shielding from outside noise and internal doubt. I needed you to trust my movements, even when you couldn't trace them. And though it felt like you were alone, surrounded by unanswered questions, I had you surrounded with progress. Silent, sacred, sure. My timing was not off. It was deliberate. I waited until every variable bent to my will, until circumstances aligned, until your readiness caught up with my promise, until hearts were softened, until resistance was removed, until destiny could no longer be delayed. And now, child, the silence is lifting. What I've been building is about to emerge from hiding. You're going to witness doors swing open, not just because you knocked, but because I turned the key from the inside. This wasn't luck. It wasn't coincidence. It was a result of divine arrangement, timed to the second. The release you're about to receive wasn't rushed. It was refined. I've put everything exactly where it needs to be. Resources, relationships, locations, confirmations, all lining up like the final move in a masterful game of purpose. And you were never just waiting. You were being positioned. Your obedience during the quiet times was an act of agreement with what I was setting into motion. It was your surrender that cleared the path. It was your willingness to keep walking even when I didn't speak that qualified you for this moment. Now the unfolding begins, not all at once, but piece by piece. As you begin to realize how nothing was wasted, every delay was direction, every silence was a setup, every hesitation was a holding space for something more stable. The breakthroughs ahead are not random surprises. They're the fruit of the silent season I personally curated. And as each one lands, you will not need to force anything. You will not chase. You will not convince. You will simply receive. Because when I put the pieces together, they stay. They do not fall apart under pressure. What's coming will make sense of everything that didn't. You'll understand why I didn't answer sooner. Because the best answer needed time to finish forming. And now it's done. The curtain is being pulled back. You're not entering into confusion. You're stepping into clarity. The pieces are in place, and the next part of your story begins now. Right now, the shift is not only happening around you, it is being unleashed through you. This day has been prophesied into the atmosphere long before you ever stood in it. And now it's unfolding without restriction. What I am releasing is not a gentle sprinkle of blessing, but a flood bursting through barriers that once stood firm. And here's what I want you to understand. Nothing in the natural or spiritual realm has the authority to interfere with what I've already declared over your life. No curse can reverse it. No fear can delay it. No resistance can outlast it. The warfare you've endured was never about what you lost. It was about what was about to be released. The pressure you felt wasn't an attack against your weakness. It was a sign of how close you were to activation. You didn't realize it, but hell had been monitoring your progress, panicking at every moment you chose obedience over convenience, every act of trust, every prayer whispered in exhaustion, every moment you chose holiness over compromise. All of it built momentum in the unseen. And now that momentum is manifesting in waves. Not ripples, not drops, but waves. What I'm doing now cannot be measured by what you've seen before, because this is a first-of-its-kind move in your life. The outpouring you're stepping into has been customized for your exact purpose, crafted with intention, ignited by heaven's fire, and drenched in the oil of my favor. This is not revival in theory, it's transformation in motion. You'll begin to notice things happening quickly, unexpectedly, undeniably. Where there was delay, there will now be acceleration. Where there was drought, there will be saturation. I am not releasing this blessing in pieces. I'm releasing it in flow. And this flow will break limitations that held your family for generations. This flow will correct what was out of alignment. This flow will bring rest to the very areas where you've wrestled. You see, I never waste a battle. I use it to build what will carry my glory. And now I'm using you, not because you were the loudest, not because you were perfect, but because you stayed when others walked away. You honored me when it was unpopular. You didn't quit when quitting felt easier. And because of that, because of the posture of your heart, I'm opening the heavens over your head, and the downpour has already begun. You won't need to manipulate it. You won't need to prove yourself. This favor isn't tied to your performance. It's rooted in my promise, and my promise is unstoppable. So don't look back. Don't second guess. Don't minimize what I'm doing just because others won't understand it. I'm not asking them for permission. I'm not seeking their approval. I'm fulfilling what I've spoken. The outpouring has started, and it will not pause. It will not dry up. It will not stop until everything I placed in your spirit comes into full view. You will feel me in ways you never have before. You will see fruit where you once saw barrenness, and you will know beyond doubt, beyond logic, beyond hesitation, that this is me. I'm marking this day not with explanation but with power, and the power behind what I'm pouring out is greater than anything that has tried to come against you. The breaking point is behind you. The overflow is here. Let it begin. You're not inching toward breakthrough anymore. You've just crossed the line into overflow. Every obstruction that once stood between you and fulfillment has been dismantled by my hand. And what's coming now will not come quietly or in small increments. You're going to feel it, fully, suddenly, and completely. What used to feel like a trickle of hope will now rush toward you like a mighty current that cannot be contained. I am not releasing pieces of a promise anymore. I am unleashing the fullness of what I spoke. The season of waiting has officially expired. What you are about to experience is momentum, spiritual, emotional, physical, and financial, all flowing at once. All moving in one divine direction toward the purpose I designed just for you. The heaviness you've carried is being lifted, not just because the burden has been removed, but because the time for fulfillment has finally arrived. You are stepping into what was once withheld, not because I changed my mind, but because the moment has matured. You didn't miss it. It didn't skip you. It was reserved. And now, as heaven releases what has been stored, you will feel the weight of blessing hit your life like waves that keep coming again and again, with no end in sight. Don't try to measure this with your past experience. It won't compare. What's coming has no blueprint in your memory, no pattern from your history. It's entirely new, freshly crafted, shaped by my perfect timing. And I want you to know this. You are not unworthy of it. You are not stealing someone else's portion. You are receiving exactly what was assigned to you from the beginning. The delay did not deny you, it prepared you. And now I am opening the heavens with urgency and precision, pouring into every empty place, filling the gaps, saturating the places that once felt abandoned. You won't have to chase anything. I've already commanded what's yours to find you. The people, the provision, the clarity, the next step. It's all coming swiftly, but it won't overwhelm you. It will confirm you. It won't confuse you. It will establish you. This is not a moment to second guess whether you're ready. You are. I've trained your spirit through every battle. I've refined your soul in quiet places. I've shaped your discernment with every no and every redirection. Now you are equipped to stand in the center of the very thing you once feared might never happen. There is nothing you need to fix or earn before it arrives. Your yes to me was enough. Your surrender positioned you for this wave. And now, as it begins to pour in, I want you to stay rooted. Don't let the speed of it make you doubt the source of it. Don't get distracted by the blessing and forget the blesser. Keep your posture in me, and the flow will never run dry. I am not releasing just one miracle. I'm releasing a sequence, a stream, a supernatural chain reaction that will change the course of your journey. What you thought would take years will now happen in weeks. What looked impossible last month will suddenly stand in front of you, finished, wrapped in favor. This is not fantasy, child. This is fulfillment, and it's not far off. It's at your doorstep, knocking with urgency, ready to be opened. Let go of the mindset that says you have to earn every good thing. I am a father who delights in giving fully, not sparingly. This outpouring is not just provision. It's a confirmation of who you are to me, and who you are is no longer hidden. You're stepping into the visible, undeniable, unstoppable flood of everything I promised. It begins now. You thought you were being denied, but I was designing an entrance that no one else could block, limit, or claim before you walk through it. Those slammed doors weren't failures. They were signals that you were being preserved for something more aligned, more accurate, more anointed. I needed to remove you from places that looked right on the outside but lacked the spiritual infrastructure to support what I've planted inside of you. You didn't lose opportunity. You gained protection. I was never letting life reject you. I was handpicking which paths would shape you, which experiences would refine you, and which destinations would fully receive who you're becoming. You were never forgotten outside those doors. I stood with you while you waited, while you cried, while you questioned what went wrong. And though I didn't always explain, I never left. I stayed close while you wandered through uncertainty, clearing the landscape of anything that would pull you into detours. What I'm about to open won't require you to force yourself in. You won't need to knock repeatedly. You won't have to beg to be seen, understood, or included. This door will not creak halfway open. It will swing wide with supernatural clarity, undeniable timing, and unstoppable authority. I didn't bring you this far to tease you with glimpses. I brought you to this moment to reveal the doorway I've hidden until now. This isn't an ordinary opportunity. It's a key entrance into the next chapter of purpose. Where others saw a dead end, I was building a gateway. Where it felt like things were falling apart, I was strategically moving things into place behind a curtain you couldn't lift. And now I am drawing it back. This door was not created overnight. It was formed through the very things that tried to defeat you. Every time someone rejected you, I added another layer of grace to this threshold. Every time you endured silently, I built it stronger. And now it will not only welcome you in, it will close behind you to protect you from ever going back to the places where you were never truly valued. This door does not just represent access. It represents freedom. It represents favor. It represents fulfillment. You are about to walk through something that no one can reverse. It doesn't matter who tried to delay you. It doesn't matter what timeline they tried to force on you. I am the one opening this. And when I open a door, no man can shut it. This is your moment to stop looking over your shoulder at what didn't happen and step fully into what is unfolding. You won't need approval from anyone who couldn't recognize your worth. You won't need permission from those who once overlooked you. This door is not dependent on their affirmation. It's based on my assignment. I am calling you forward now. I am lifting the barrier. I am breaking the lock. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not disqualified. You are exactly where I need you to be, standing in front of a divine entry point that has waited for this very hour. What's on the other side will feel like everything finally converging. Healing, provision, clarity, purpose, and joy, all flowing in unison. Let chaos and compromise go. And as you step in, you'll finally understand why all the others had to close. Not one was wasted. Not one was accidental. They were all paving the way for this. The best door is open, and it's open for you. Long before you took your first breath, I mapped this hour into the blueprint of your destiny. You were never floating through life aimlessly. Everything is unfolding according to a divine appointment that was inked into existence by my own hand. You are not arriving late. You are not walking into this by chance. This moment was carved into eternity with precision, set aside as a holy intersection where your preparation meets my manifestation. There were seasons when you wondered if your story had been forgotten, as though time kept moving while your promise stood still. But I want you to know, nothing was overlooked. I reserved this day. I protected it. I hid it from the plans of the enemy. And now that it has arrived, no delay can cancel it, no power can corrupt it, and no opposition can steal what is being delivered. This is not just another event on the calendar of your life. This is a divine unveiling of purpose, long preserved. The pressure you felt building was not random tension. It was the signal of something ancient and holy being activated in real time. I am not reacting to your prayers. I am fulfilling a design that was completed before the foundations of the earth were laid. You don't need to earn it. You need only to align with what I already declared. I saw every detail, every person who would walk with you and everyone who would walk away. I knew exactly when you'd feel discouraged, when you'd question me, when you'd want to give up. I factored in all of it, and still I chose this moment to be the launching point. I could have picked any hour, but this one carries weight because your spirit has matured into a place of readiness. You no longer need to be convinced that I am faithful. You know it now. You've lived it. You've walked through fires and come out with your trust intact. And that's why I've brought you here. Not because of perfection, but because of persistence. My child, there is a seal in the heavens being broken. And when it breaks, what comes forth will be irreversible. I have summoned angels to execute what was held in suspension until your maturity caught up with my timing. Nothing will be able to push this back anymore. You've crossed the threshold, and now the manifestation begins. You'll begin to see sudden movements, swift answers, divine confirmations layered in ways you didn't expect. Don't try to overanalyze it. Don't fear the pace. I am orchestrating this, and I am the author of peace. Everything about this day has significance, even the things that feel unfamiliar. I've embedded clues along your path, and they are beginning to light up. You'll recognize them not by logic, but by spiritual clarity that I'm sharpening as you go. This moment was scheduled for you, not borrowed, not shared. Heaven has been counting down to this. Every second leading up to this has been sacred, and now that the clock has struck, it will not turn back. From this moment forward, you will begin to walk in the awareness that I never forgot what I started. I never lost track of your purpose. I never wavered in my plan. I was waiting for the moment to be ripe, and now it is. No more wondering if it's your turn. No more confusion about your assignment. You are living inside the unfolding of a promise too big to fail. Step forward. Don't look back. What I've declared is not only true, it is now. And no force in heaven or on earth can unwrite what I authored before time even began. The moment is here, and it is entirely yours. Stop exhausting yourself trying to reach what I've already commanded to come to you. The striving can end now. You've spent enough time trying to force open gates that weren't meant for you to push through. You've worn yourself down, questioning what else you should do, who else you should call, what next move you might be missing. But I am stepping in with a release that will locate you where you are, not where you're trying to get to. The season of running after outcomes is over. You've sown in tears. You've waited without answers. Now the reward is approaching, not because you chased it down, but because it recognizes your surrender. You don't need to explain yourself anymore. You don't have to negotiate your worth. What I prepared is coming directly into alignment with your obedience. This is not something you will have to compete for. No comparison will be necessary. No performance will be required. The release is already in motion, drawn by the authenticity of your worship and the consistency of your trust. You stood still when others told you to hurry. You waited with hope when logic said it was too late. And because you refused to compromise your faith to manipulate the outcome, I'm sending what's meant for you to your exact location. This is divine delivery. It won't be delayed, intercepted, or handed to someone else. What is arriving was designed with your DNA woven into its assignment. You're not being overlooked. You're being overtaken by what I've marked with your name. And when it finds you, it will settle in with undeniable confirmation. There will be no confusion, no chaos, just peace that confirms This is it. I know how tired you became, wondering if you missed the signal, if you were supposed to take a different road, if some missed opportunity disqualified you from the promise. But hear me, you didn't miss it. You've been precisely positioned. Every step, even the ones that felt aimless, were part of my compass leading you into divine collision with destiny. You are not behind. You are not in lack. You are right on schedule. And what belongs to you has been released on time. I'm not asking you to hustle, to beg, or to knock on the same doors that rejected you. I'm asking you to rest in the reality that I'm bringing it to you. Not because you stopped caring, but because you finally trusted me enough to stop chasing. This release is not earned through anxiety. It's attracted through alignment. And now that your heart has quieted enough to hear me clearly, the path is unfolding without resistance. I am not just answering your prayers. I'm responding to your posture. You've shifted from desperation to dependence. And that shift has triggered movement from my throne. So lift your head. Let go of the pressure to make it happen. You are not the manufacturer of miracles. I am. You are the recipient. Your job was to stay faithful. Mine is to fulfill what I promised. And that fulfillment is no longer far. It's arriving. Prepare not to search, but to receive. What you were chasing is now chasing you. This release is not fragile. It won't slip through your fingers, vanish in a moment of doubt, or be stolen by someone envious of your journey. What I'm placing before you now has a level of security backed by my authority. You've received blessings before that felt temporary, like they came with an expiration date or a hidden condition. But this time is different. This isn't a loan from heaven. This is a permanent transfer of purpose into your hands, signed with my seal. The enemy will try to whisper that it's too good to be true, that it will disappear just as fast as it arrived. Ignore him. What I am releasing is rooted too deep to be uprooted by fear, opposition, or misunderstanding. I've built it to withstand storms. I fortified it with promises that do not fail. This time, when I give it to you, it will not dissolve in pressure or be pulled away by insecure hands. No manipulative voice will be able to dismantle what I've set in place. No bitterness from others will sabotage your breakthrough. What I have formed for you cannot be passed on to anyone else, and it cannot be taken from you. Not through deception, not through force, not through delay. You have been entrusted with something weighty, something eternal. You are not being given a fleeting moment of attention. You are being handed something that carries legacy. You will carry it with confidence, not pride, with joy, not fear, with authority, not anxiety. There is no need to grip it tightly and worry, because I am the one who secured it. It's not vulnerable to opinion. It's not at risk in the hands of critics. I've wrapped this in so much of myself that it's untouchable by darkness. You won't have to defend it with your voice. It will defend itself with its fruit. What's being entrusted to you now has been tested in fire before it ever reached your palms. And you, child, have also been tested through adversity, rejection, and lonely roads. I was shaping your capacity to carry this moment well. You won't drop it. You won't misuse it. You won't run from it. You'll carry it like someone who has been refined by the waiting, strengthened by the silence, and marked by faith that doesn't shake under pressure. This is not a partial fulfillment. It is the fullness of what I promised, and it comes with permanent residence. It is not visiting your life temporarily. It is moving in. I'm placing it in your hands now with heaven's confidence. You won't need to explain how it arrived. You'll simply point to me. And those who doubted whether you were chosen will see that you didn't take this by force. You were entrusted with it by grace. They'll have no choice but to acknowledge that what you're walking in now was not manipulated, manufactured, or stolen. It was delivered. You waited with integrity. You stood with humility. You believed with consistency. And now I'm honoring that. so don't be afraid that it's going to disappear. Don't brace yourself for it to be taken. Lift your hands and receive what no one else can hold in your place. It is yours, and it is staying. I saw every side glance, every silent judgment, every moment you were counted out while still showing up with faith. You stood in rooms where your presence was tolerated but never truly celebrated. You gave your best while whispers questioned your worth. People saw the surface but never the sacrifice. They misread your gentleness as weakness, your humility as insignificance, your silence as lack of purpose. But I was watching, not to vindicate your ego, but to honor your perseverance. And now I am shifting the scene. I am not just blessing you in the background. I'm allowing others to witness the unveiling, not out of revenge but revelation. Not for your applause, but for my glory. What's being released will make it clear that you were never forgotten, never abandoned, never bypassed. I shielded you while I prepared what could not be rushed. And those who assumed nothing was happening will soon see that something sacred was forming under the surface the entire time. What they couldn't recognize before, I am about to reveal before their very eyes. Not to shame them, but to show them that my choosing does not depend on human approval. I am not raising you to prove a point. I am raising you because I made a promise, and I keep every one. You did not beg for validation. You didn't manipulate your way to the front. You trusted my timing. You embraced the hidden seasons. You kept walking when it felt like no one noticed. And now, those who once questioned your calling will become witnesses to your breakthrough. They'll see the favor unfold in your life like a banner they cannot ignore. But this won't stir pride in your heart. It will humble you even more, because you'll know what they never saw: the cost, the battles, the tears behind the scenes. You'll carry this blessing with reverence, not arrogance. You won't look down on those who misjudged you. You'll rise with grace, aware that the same hand that lifted you is capable of lifting them too. What's coming will not just shift your circumstances, it will shift perceptions. You'll become undeniable, not because of talent or status, but because of the oil I've poured on you. There's a fragrance on your life now that cannot be fabricated or faked. It speaks of wilderness endured and fire survived, and it causes everything around you to take notice, not of you, but of me and you. What they couldn't see in the past is now being brought into full light, that you were chosen not by people, but by purpose. You were being grown for impact, not for popularity, and that impact begins now. Get ready for the astonishment on the faces of those who thought your best days had passed. Get ready for the shift in atmosphere when your name is spoken in rooms where it was once dismissed. This isn't about being famous, it's about being faithful. And your faithfulness is now speaking louder than any doubt ever could. Watch what I do next. I'm going to turn silence into songs, ashes into evidence, and pain into platform. Not for display, but for demonstration of what I can do with a surrendered life. They'll see it and they'll know it was me. And you'll walk forward not with resentment, but with release. Because now you finally understand. Their doubt never defined you. My word did. And now my word is coming to life in full view of those who never saw it coming. Not a single tear went unnoticed, though they fell where no one could see and no one seemed to care. You wept behind closed doors, masking the ache with smiles that fooled the world but never fooled me. I was there every time your knees hit the floor in exhaustion, every time your chest tightened under burdens you couldn't explain, every time you pressed on with trembling hands and a hopeful heart. Those nights weren't wasted. Those moments of collapse were not signs of failure. They were sacred. You were sowing in silence what I am now commanding to bloom in full view. What was once a private storm is turning into a public harvest. You didn't share those cries for pity. You kept going because something in you still believed I was listening. And you were right. I collected every tear, not just to comfort you, but to water something extraordinary. Now comes the unveiling, not of your pain, but of my faithfulness. I am turning every hidden struggle into visible testimony. You won't need to tell people what you endured. They'll see the evidence in the restoration I pour out. They'll witness the glow of resilience on your face, the peace in your steps, the strength in your voice, and they will wonder how you survived what was never spoken. But I know what you carried alone. I know how much you held in just to keep others encouraged while you were running on empty. I know the nights you sat in silence because the pain didn't even have words anymore. And because I know I'm doing something different with your story. I'm putting my fingerprints on every area that once felt broken. And when I reveal what I've been building, it won't just bless you. It will surprise those who thought they knew what you were going through. You didn't post about the process. You didn't broadcast your breakdowns. You endured. And now what I'm about to do will speak louder than anything you could have ever tried to explain. The blessing coming your way is not for show, but it will be seen. Not for performance, but it will be recognized. I'm placing visible glory where there was once invisible grief. The things you built while crying, I'm strengthening them. The steps you took while hurting, I'm anointing them. The words you whispered while shaking, I'm magnifying them. You stayed true when no one was watching. Now I will reward you where everyone can see. But you will not be consumed by attention because your heart has already been purified by the hidden season. This visibility will not distract you. It will honor you. You'll be seen not because you asked for recognition, but because I am choosing to highlight what was born in obedience. This is not the result of platform. This is the result of process. I'm lifting the veil on what you birthed in the dark, and it will shine. It will inspire. It will lead others back to me. Because when they see what I've done for you, they won't praise your strength. They'll encounter my presence. And you, child, will finally understand that nothing you went through alone was wasted. The private pain is now becoming a public promise fulfilled. The very wounds you tried to hide are now the reason you've been entrusted with something this sacred. I never overlooked your suffering. I used it as preparation. Every ache, every betrayal, every battle that left you gasping for air, none of it was meaningless. In fact, it was through those very struggles that your spiritual muscles were built. The refining didn't come through ease, it came through endurance. When you were walking through the most painful seasons of your life, it may have felt like punishment, but in my eyes, it was promotion in disguise. I allowed certain hardships not to destroy you, but to deepen you, not to harden your heart, but to soften your spirit. You see, anyone can receive a blessing, but not everyone is equipped to carry it with humility, integrity, and discernment. I had to test your posture when no one was looking. I had to see how you handled loneliness before I could trust you with influence. I had to observe how you responded to being overlooked so I would know how you'd treat others once you were celebrated. The way you walked through pain revealed your character, not to me, but to you. You discovered a version of yourself you didn't know existed. Stronger, wiser, more sensitive to my voice. You grew in silence, and that growth didn't go unnoticed. I was there for every moment you pressed through the weight of disappointment without giving up. You were not being punished. You were being refined. I know that at times you begged for relief, asking me to remove the suffering. But what you couldn't see then was what I see now. That same suffering has shaped the way you will carry what I'm placing in your life. It taught you compassion so you will not walk in pride. It taught you to listen so you won't lead blindly. It taught you patience so you won't rush through what I'm building. You are not walking into this blessing unprepared. You're walking in ready, not because of your resume, but because of your resilience. And the best part is, you won't misuse this. You won't idolize it. You won't run from me once you receive it, because pain taught you what peace really means. You learned to rely on me when there was nothing left to lean on. And that dependency didn't make you weak. It made you powerful. You've become a vessel that can carry the weight of purpose without cracking under pressure. That's why I've waited for this moment. That's why I didn't release this earlier, because I wanted to give it to someone who would protect it, honor it, and grow it, not someone who would treat it like a trophy. You've proven that person is you. So don't regret what you went through. Don't wish away the journey that brought you here. The very scars you carry are the proof that you're ready. You didn't just survive, you absorbed wisdom. You didn't just get through, you transformed. And now you are qualified in ways that books and titles could never achieve. You are prepared through process, made whole through pressure. And now you're being trusted with something only someone forged in fire can hold. So lift your eyes. The release coming isn't just a gift. It's a reflection of everything you became in the dark, and I am proud of you. You're not just receiving something beautiful, you're being publicly affirmed in heaven's order. What's coming into your life now carries the weight of spiritual rank, not just earthly reward. I'm not merely placing something in your hands, I'm elevating your position in the flow of my plans. You've moved beyond being a spectator of my promises. You're now stepping into the realm of divine responsibility and kingdom purpose. This shift is not symbolic, it's structural. It changes the atmosphere around your name, your voice, your steps, and your reach. You're being entrusted with authority, not based on performance, but based on stewardship. I saw how you carried the little things, the quiet assignments, the unnoticed acts of love, the silent obedience no one applauded. And now I'm exalting you, not above others, but deeper into my will. This promotion is not about power, it's about presence. I'm drawing you closer to me, positioning you where revelation flows clearer, where discernment is sharper, and where your actions influence outcomes not just in the natural, but in eternity. The honor being placed upon your life isn't coming from people. It's coming from my throne. That's why you won't need to announce it. It will be evident. Others may not understand how things are shifting so quickly around you, but it's not acceleration, it's graduation. You passed unseen tests of the heart, tests that measured your response to opposition, your willingness to wait when you could have rushed, your choice to worship when no reward seemed near. Those moments became the foundation of what I am now building in your life. This blessing is not a random act of kindness. It's a coronation of faithfulness. You didn't ask for a title, yet I'm giving you territory. You didn't fight for position, yet I'm expanding your reach. Because you chose to stay low, I'm lifting you high, not to be worshipped, but to carry the atmosphere of heaven wherever you go. This is what promotion looks like in my kingdom. It doesn't inflate your ego, it deepens your love. It doesn't make you louder, it makes you clearer. You're stepping into a new realm of spiritual visibility, not for show, but for impact. The weight of my glory is going to rest on you in ways you've never carried before. You'll speak and things will shift. You'll walk into rooms and peace will follow. Not because you planned it, but because I anointed it. This isn't a reward for being impressive. It's a release for being obedient. The crown you're receiving isn't made of gold. It's made of trust. And trust is something I don't place lightly. You've shown that you will value what matters most. You've proven that your heart remains fixed even when the winds of life rage. And now, I'm bringing you into a space where heaven backs every word I assign to your mouth. You'll begin to notice greater wisdom flowing without effort, deeper clarity in situations others find confusing, and doors opening that logic cannot explain. These are the evidences of your elevation, not the applause of crowds, but the increased flow of my spirit through your life. You are being promoted, not on paper, but in presence. The atmosphere will confirm it. The anointing will affirm it. The fruit will reveal it. So walk boldly, not arrogantly, but confidently. For this is not the result of ambition. This is the unfolding of assignment. I am the one who has promoted you, and what I lift, no one can lower. I need your focus, child. Not because what's ahead is complicated, but because it's sacred. What I'm setting into motion will demand a level of clarity you've never operated in before. The distractions that once seemed harmless, the conversations that drained your peace, the scrolling that stole your time, those things can no longer be afforded space in your atmosphere. I'm calling you into a realm where every moment is intentional, where every decision becomes an extension of my presence within you. This isn't a season where you can afford to divide your energy between what's temporary and what's eternal. What I'm releasing into your hands is precise, and I need your vision sharpened to see it for what it truly is. The noise around you is not harmless background sound. It's interference sent to blur your spiritual perception. Don't let it dilute your sensitivity to my voice. This next movement is too significant for scattered thoughts and misplaced priorities. I'm not asking for busyness. I'm asking for focus. Turn down the volume on opinions that aren't rooted in my truth. Step back from anything that makes you question what I've already made clear. Even good things can become hindrances if they pull your heart in too many directions. This is the hour to center your soul. Your assignment requires stillness, not stagnation. It's time to realign, to cut off the unnecessary, to quiet your surroundings so you can hear the subtle instructions I'm placing before you. I will not shout over the noise. I will whisper into your surrender. I'm not trying to compete with distractions. I'm inviting you into deeper discipline. There are things you've tolerated that can no longer go with you. The time you used to give away freely must now be guarded with discernment. The conversations you entertained out of habit must be evaluated through purpose. I'm not asking you to isolate out of fear. I'm calling you to separate for refinement, because what I'm unfolding will require decisions made in wisdom, not reaction. I want your spirit to be alert, your heart to be light, your mind to be clear. You'll notice that certain things begin to fade on their own. Relationships may shift, interests may change, and opportunities that once seemed attractive may no longer hold your attention. That's not confusion. That's my pruning. I am protecting your capacity from being cluttered. I'm reserving space for the divine. Don't resist the narrowing. It's preparing you for the launch. You are not being cut off, you're being cleared out. And once you step into the flow of what's coming, you'll understand why I asked you to focus so sharply. There will be divine moments that come quickly, doors that open briefly, whispers that carry weight. You'll need to catch them without hesitation, and for that, you must be present, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. Put away what numbs you. Say no to what delays you. Close the windows that let in confusion, not because you're trying to earn this blessing, but because you're protecting it. This is not just about receiving something, it's about sustaining it. And to sustain it, you need peace, presence, and perception. You need to be still enough to hear me, soft enough to follow me, and sharp enough to recognize me in the unexpected. I'm not moving slowly, I'm moving with precision. And your attention is the landing strip for everything I'm about to send. Focus, my child. Everything depends on it now. There are arrangements taking place that you can't yet perceive. Divine meetings are being organized. Hearts are being stirred. Resources are being repositioned. All for the sake of what I've declared over you. While you've been walking by faith, I've been orchestrating the perfect intersection of every element you'll need to move forward without delay. You are not walking into a coincidence. You are walking into a carefully calculated convergence. The right voices are being prepared to speak into your journey. The right doors are being marked for you alone. I have placed your name on assignments that have yet to be released, and now I am bringing all of it together in precise harmony. There will be no confusion when it arrives, because it will carry the fragrance of my hand upon it. Every delay you've endured was a setup for this alignment. I had to slow you down in places so you wouldn't outpace what I was preparing ahead of you. You thought you were stuck, but I was simply timing your arrival with the readiness of everything meant to greet you. I don't operate in fragments. I move in fullness. That's why I wouldn't let you settle into moments that weren't fully prepared to receive what I've placed inside you. This alignment isn't just about convenience. It's about covenant. The people I'm connecting you with will not drain you. They will recognize you. You won't have to explain your worth or justify your presence. They will see the assignment on your life and support it without hesitation. I've removed the ones who could not handle your future, so I could make space for those who were born to help build it. You are not losing. You are being refined. The appointments I'm setting for you now are beyond your ability to orchestrate. You don't need to network your way into this. You need to rest in what I'm unveiling. I've already spoken your name into the atmosphere. I've already stirred the hearts of those who will say yes to you without confusion or condition. I've already designated the resources that will meet your needs before you even speak them. Your supply is not coming from striving. It's coming from alignment. And when it comes, it will come swiftly. The transition will feel sudden, but it has been in motion long before you ever felt the shift. I was never idle while you were waiting. I was working underneath the surface, turning hearts, adjusting timelines, and paving pathways that couldn't be rushed. Even now, something is being rearranged on your behalf. You may not see it yet, but soon the evidence will surround you. You'll find yourself in rooms you didn't apply for, in conversations you didn't initiate, receiving favor you didn't negotiate. Don't panic when it accelerates. I've already prepared you to walk in it. This isn't random favor. It's scheduled fulfillment. This hour was marked in eternity, and it is meeting you in your obedience. Don't be surprised when connections form quickly and provision flows freely. You're stepping into alignment, not chasing outcomes. What I'm doing now will require sensitivity, not strategy. Keep your ears open. Keep your spirit still. Stay connected to my presence, and everything else will follow. This is the hour of alignment, and it is happening now. This isn't something you have to plead for. You don't need to convince me to move on your behalf. The decision has already been sealed. You are not standing in front of me as someone unworthy, desperate to be noticed. You are approaching me as a child with an inheritance already spoken into existence. I don't require you to perform for the promise. I don't require you to strive for approval. The answer has already been established, and it is yes. Long before you saw the need, I declared the provision. Long before you understood the weight of what you carry, I confirmed the release of what would sustain it. This is not a trial run. This is not a debate waiting for the right argument. I do not operate according to human systems of permission or reward. I work through covenant, and covenant is not broken by delay, by doubt, or by your history. I see the full picture, and from that complete view, I chose to pour out blessing, not because you earned it, but because you've been positioned in surrender. I delight in fulfilling what I promise. I don't need to be persuaded to keep my word. You are not twisting my arm when you pray. You are agreeing with what I've already spoken. You've been approaching this like someone trying to qualify. But I need you to realize the confirmation has already been stamped in the unseen. The breakthrough you've been crying for isn't something I'm still thinking about. It's already been dispatched. What I'm doing now is not the result of you convincing me. It's the evidence that you trusted me, even when nothing seemed to be happening. You've already touched my heart. Now my hand is moving. You've already passed the unseen test. Now the visible shift is arriving. I want you to walk in this with confident humility. You're not stealing someone else's blessing. You're not pushing into something that wasn't meant for you. This is your portion. This is your promise. This is your appointed time. Stop asking if it's too late. Stop wondering if you missed your window. I am your window, and I have never closed the opening I prepared for you. I'm not weighing your worth. I've already confirmed it. I'm not counting your failures. I've already covered them. I'm not analyzing your credentials. I'm responding to your faith. Even when your faith was quiet, even when it was trembling, even when all you had left was a whisper of belief, that whisper reached me. That endurance caught my attention. And now the release is coming, not through struggle, but through peace. You won't have to claw your way into this blessing. It's arriving without resistance, because what I give fully, without strings, without shame, without conditions. All I ask is that you receive it without guilt, that you stop seeing yourself through the lens of your past delays, that you walk forward knowing you are not taking something that wasn't prepared for you. You are finally receiving what has been waiting for you to stop begging and start believing. This is a move initiated by my mercy, delivered through my love and confirmed by my spirit. I've already said yes. Now it's your turn to say thank you and step forward. This is not arriving by human effort alone. This delivery is escorted by heaven's own messengers. I have not only initiated your blessing, I have assigned supernatural forces to ensure its safe arrival. Nothing I send into your life moves without protection. I've stationed warriors over what's coming, not because it is fragile, but because it is valuable. The journey of this release has passed through opposition, and it's reached your doorstep, wrapped in my authority and sealed with my glory. No power of darkness can interfere. No plan of the enemy could hijack it. I've seen how much this means to you, and I've ensured that what I've prepared will reach you in full, undamaged, untouched, and right on time. You've waited long, and now I'm delivering more than you imagined. This is not a vulnerable blessing. It will not slip into the wrong hands. It will not be rerouted. You won't be intercepted. It is guarded with precision. The angels I've dispatched are not passive observers. They are fierce, focused, and fully aware of what's at stake. They carry out my word with absolute obedience. Their mission is to deliver what belongs to you, without delay or distortion. You are not receiving leftovers. You are not receiving something random. This is personal, this is sacred. And because of that, I've taken measures that go beyond the natural to ensure that the moment you step into this new place, you do so covered on all sides. You may have felt like nothing was happening, but behind the veil warfare was taking place. Not battles you were called to fight, but battles already won. You didn't see the ambush that was planned. You didn't feel the storm that tried to rise, because I blocked it before it reached you. I silenced every accusation spoken over your name. I rerouted every attempt to stop your progression. While you were worshiping, I was warring. While you were standing still, I was dispatching reinforcement. This release has cost too much, in both time and tears, to arrive unguarded. And I want you to know, you are not stepping into this alone. Even now, you are surrounded by help you cannot see. There are hands you will never touch that are lifting the weight off your path. There are voices in the spirit realm declaring my will over your life, and nothing is permitted to come near what I've consecrated as yours. I didn't just release the blessing, I built a shield around it. I didn't just promise you something great, I assigned heavenly presence to carry it through. And when it lands, it will not be shaky, it will be steady. You will not have to fight for it once it arrives. The fight was handled before you even knew there was a threat. Trust this process. Even when it feels invisible, trust that I don't just give, I guard. I don't just speak, I secure. This is not a fragile miracle. This is a fortified breakthrough. And the ones I've appointed to accompany it are not amateurs. They know exactly where to go, what to release, and who to protect. And that person is you. Don't fear sabotage. Don't expect loss. Don't brace for disappointment. This is completion. This is direct confirmation. Expect it to reach you without missing a single detail. Because when I send something by my command, it arrives in power, and it changes everything. Every deceptive whisper that's been trying to break your focus, every voice that stirred doubt in your chest, every creeping anxiety that tells you it's going to fall apart, none of those are coming from me. They are sent by a defeated enemy who already sees what's on its way and can't stop it. Fear isn't arriving because something is going wrong. It's showing up because something is going right. The enemy doesn't waste energy on what isn't moving. His agitation is evidence of your elevation. That unease in the atmosphere, the strange weight you've been feeling, the restlessness trying to settle in, those are all signals that the darkness has caught wind of what I've scheduled over your life. You are not under attack because you're weak. You are being targeted because you've entered the territory of transformation. What's ahead of you is so significant that even hell has begun to panic. That's why fear has grown louder. That's why old insecurities have tried to creep back in. That's why you felt a sudden pressure to question everything you've already overcome. But listen closely. None of those doubts are rooted in truth. They are designed to delay your boldness, to slow your faith, to pull your eyes off me. Don't entertain them. Don't give fear the authority it craves by listening as if it speaks for your future. It doesn't. I do. And I'm not speaking in riddles, I'm speaking in confirmations. I'm reminding you of what I already told you, that you are chosen, protected, prepared, and positioned. Fear doesn't get to redefine that. You've already walked through storms you thought would crush you. You've endured moments where your knees trembled, but your spirit held firm. You know what victory feels like because you've carried peace in places where chaos tried to take root. And now, as you stand on the edge of what I'm pouring out, the enemy's last attempt is intimidation. He knows he cannot touch what I've sanctified, so he sends whispers, shadows, and illusions. But even those tremble in my presence. You are not at risk. You are rising. What you're sensing isn't danger, it's destruction. Because your blessing is about to break into full manifestation, and the forces that once held you back are losing their grip. You are closer now than you've ever been, and that proximity is causing pressure in the unseen. But you were made for this. You were anointed for moments like these, not to retreat, but to step forward. You don't need more proof. You need to silence the lies. Rebuke the voice that says it's all too good to be true. Cancel the whisper that says it might still slip away. Replace the tension with trust. Look at how far you've come. Look at how I've sustained you, refined you, shaped you. I haven't brought you this close to let fear steal the moment. I'm standing right beside you, declaring that no weapon formed will prosper and no tongue raised against you will prevail. This is not the time to shrink back. This is the time to rise into what I've announced. Let fear tremble. Let the darkness flee. Let the enemy witness what happens when my child believes. Because when faith stands firm, blessings have no resistance. Breathe. Walk forward. Speak with confidence. Everything fear is trying to distort is already under my control. and what I'm doing next will silence it forever. I know it's felt like time was slipping through your fingers, like the clock kept ticking while your progress seemed stuck. But what you perceive as delay was actually divine restraint, a pause not to punish you, but to prepare everything around you to match what I've been forming within you. You haven't fallen behind. You've been preserved. While you watched others seemingly move ahead, I was protecting your pace so you would collide with destiny at the exact moment it was meant to unfold. I never measure your journey by human standards. I don't use calendars or comparisons to determine your readiness. I use the alignment of purpose, the fullness of obedience, and the temperature of surrender. And now, all of it has come together. The conditions are perfect for what I'm about to release. You are not in recovery mode. You are in the fast lane of fulfillment. Where it once took years to move an inch, you will now cover ground in a single breath. This is not the result of effort. It's the outcome of endurance. I'm not asking you to catch up. I'm inviting you to walk in what's already caught up to you. My timing is not only precise, it is powerful. It compensates, it restores, it renews. Every moment that felt wasted, every season that felt still, every stretch of time where progress seemed invisible, I have folded them into my divine acceleration. You will see doors open without delay. You will experience growth without exhaustion. This is not a natural speed, it is supernatural rhythm. You're not being rushed, you're being released. You'll feel things align so quickly that your mind will pause in awe, not confusion. You won't have to force it, you won't have to chase it. It will come with ease, not because it's easy. So don't be surprised when the answers begin to flood in. Don't be shocked when things begin to move faster than you imagine. I'm not rushing to make up for lost time. I'm honoring the time you gave me, even when you had nothing else. To my beloved child, you did not come here by accident. This message was sent straight from my heart to yours, because I know what you've been walking through. And now, your season is shifting. What I've spoken over you is already done. Even when you can't see it, I'm moving behind the scenes. But child, this is only the beginning. There is more I want to show you, more promises to reveal, more healing to pour out, more breakthroughs waiting to be unlocked. Come back to this place often. Let my words refresh your faith, realign your purpose, and remind you that you're never walking alone. Tap subscribe now, not just to follow a channel, but to stay in step with my divine whispers. Turn on the bell so you don't miss a single message I send through this ministry. Share this with someone else who needs to hear my voice today. Because just like you, they are being positioned for something greater. And remember, my timing is perfect. My plan is unfolding, and your breakthrough is already in motion. Come back soon, my child. I have more to tell you. I love you, and I'm not done yet. Amen.